This is the inside of the Auto-Sleeper Warwick Duo. If I firstly move to the main control panel, you can turn the 12 volt on and off just on this button just here. Directly beneath that we have water pump on and off. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it has been drained down. Freshwater tank level indicator just here. Leisure battery selection and vehicle battery selection. If I now press leisure, it will also give me the condition of the leisure battery. And if I now press vehicle, it's now giving me the vehicle condition. And because this has now been selected, this is the battery we are now using to power the back end of the van. This is also very handy if you need to charge the vehicle battery, because as you can now see, it's shot right up to the top because I'm currently connected to main supply, and now the battery charger is charging that battery. Controls just here for the Truma heating and hot water. So you see we have two dials. If we start with this dial here, this one picks the power source that you want to be using. So at the top here we have mains electricity at 2 kilowatts. We then have mains electricity at 1 kilowatt. Very handy if you're on a low amp site to be able to drop the power to try and avoid tripping. If we have no main supply, we can flick it onto the flame and run the system on gas. And if we have both power sources available to us, we can run in dual fuel. So we can run on a mixture of gas and mains at 1 kilowatt and a mixture of gas and mains at 2 kilowatts. So once you've decided what you want to be using, so I'm going to go right the way back up to just mains electricity on its own at 2 kilowatts. We then come across to this side just here to decide what we actually want on. So at the moment we're in the off position. If I now flick the dial up one, you'll see we have 40 degrees. So we are now heating hot water to 40 degrees on main supply, and we'll get this amber light just indicating that we're using mains here, and this amber light will stay on until the water has reached 40 degrees. If I now flick up, we would now be heating hot water to 60 degrees. If I now drop it back to off, and you'll see that the green light is just flashing. It will always just flash when you turn it off for a little while, just indicating that it's going for a cool down phase. If I now flick it down one, we have a little picture of a flame. On this side here, the flame represents gas, but on this side here, the flame represents the blown air heating system. So now I'm running the blown air heating system on mains electricity at 2 kilowatts, and the inner dial controls the temperature, 1 being the coolest, 5 being the hottest. And if I flick it down again, we're now got our blown air heating on and hot water at 60 degrees. If I now flick down to just gas, you'll see the amber light goes out because we're no longer using main supply. And if the unit fails to light on gas, a red light will appear in this window just here. If I now just come to the rear bench seat just here and remove the cushions, and I now lift up, you'll see we have storage beneath. We can also get to this storage drawer at this point just here, and it will slide out. And then we also have the location of the boiler just underneath the heat shield just here. You'll find the isolator switch for the boiler on mains electricity just here. So if this is turned off, it will no longer work on mains up here. As you can see, it's now flashing an error because it can't find mains. But if I now come down and I flick it back on again and turn it back off, and then when we turn it back on again in a moment, once it's finished its little cool down, it will then work again. To drain the boiler down for winterization, the drain valve is located just underneath this pipe just here. So at the moment, just to make it easier so you can see it, I'm just going to unscrew it and remove it. So as you can now see, I've just removed that pipe just there, and you can now see the boiler drain valve just there. So it's that unit there with the little blue diamond sitting on the top. These particular drain valves are automatic, so if it does drop below about 3 or 4 degrees inside the van, it will automatically open and drop all the water out of the boiler to frost protect itself. If you're going to manually drain it down, firstly make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then come to that blue diamond and twist it. When you twist it, a blue button is going to pop out at the base of the unit. So if I now just twist it, it's now dropping all the water out, and you can see that blue button just popped out just there. To reclose it again, just twist, push the blue button back in, and then the next time you turn the water pump on, it will then begin to refill the boiler back up again. If it also drains, all that you need to do is just push the blue button back in. If it will not stay in, it's just too cold in the van, and you'll need to turn your heating on to generate some heat to allow it to reset. The only time you're touching the blue diamond is when you're manually draining the boiler down. I always suggest that when you are fully winterizing the motorhome, that you also go around and open up all the taps as well, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down far more efficiently. Underneath the opposite bench seat, you will find a good size storage compartment. TV connection points just here. And then if I move into the wardrobe, you'll see just tucked up the top here that we have the digital amplifier for the television aerial on the roof. You don't actually have to do anything with the aerial itself, but the booster box can turn on and off just here, and then control the boost just here. Again, you'll also find some more TV points in here as well. Thetford fridge just here. To turn the unit on, just hold the grey button in just here. Fairly standard 3-way fridge. So at the moment I'm running on main supply at level 3. To change the power source, just hold the grey button in just here. It will begin to flash. So if I now use the arrows, I can arrow across and put it onto 12 volt maintain with a little picture of the battery just here. This is the setting we have it on to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. It will only work whilst the engine is running. After that, we then have gas. So let's say we now want to run it on gas. Press the grey square. That will then move you across to the temperature control. Adjust your temperature accordingly, and then press again. And as you can now see, we're running on gas at level 3. These units will auto ignite themselves. If it fails to light, it will all flash, and the little green light just here will change to red. I can actually make it do that at the moment by picking 12 volt maintain, because we do not have the engine currently running. Good size freezer box at the top just there, and then back off again exactly the same way as we turn the unit on. Above that we have the sink. And then beside the fridge, just in the cupboard just here, we have the consumer unit. So we have the main strip switches just there. They are labelled up. And then we have the 3 individual MCBs, main RCD and test button just there. So if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point here. We then have the 12 volt fuses just there, and again they're labelled up underneath. So if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. And then we have the battery charger on and off just here. Obviously if this is turned off, you cannot charge either the vehicle or the leisure battery from the main supply. Gas isolation taps just here for the cooker, heating and hot water, and the fridge. They are more for maintenance than anything else. I would say if you do smell gas in the van, go to the source. So go underneath and isolate the gas tank itself. Microwave just here. Always advisable to remove any contents for travel. This will work when the motorhome is connected to main supply. So we have the power setting at the top here, and then just literally just turn it on and time set just here. We then have the extractor fan just here. Lights on, fan on and off on this side. And then lights on and off here. And then directly beneath that we have the hob. So we've got the electric hot plate just here. Like the microwave, will work when the motorhome is connected to main supply, and it operates just here. With the gas rings, it's just a matter of pushing in, twisting and pressing the igniter. Directly beneath that is the grill. And then the oven. Storage beneath the oven as well. The solar panel regulator is just located here. This can be connected up via Bluetooth to your phone or a tablet if you want to, but it will just smart charge batteries as it's required. And then directly beneath that is some more 12 volt fuses just here. They are more for components on the outside of the van, like the tow bar, marker lights, etc. Freestanding table just up here, and then as you can see, the passenger seat does rotate round, the driver's seat does not. It rotates around just on this red lever just here. The seats are also height adjustable just on these levers, and then we also have lumbar support just here, and then the backrest movement just here. With the rear beds, you can either have two good size singles or a double. For a double, it's just a matter of slightly lifting up, pulling out both sections so they then just meet in the middle, and then just popping these cushions into the space in the middle. And underneath the carpet you will find a table pole insert just here. This was fitted by a previous owner of the van. So just take it out, take your pole, pop it in, twist to then lock it in to place, and then just pop the tabletop on. If I now move into the washroom, cassette toilet just here. To open to the cassette itself, just pull the lever across, push to flush on the blue button just here, level indicator just here, and close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. We then have the shower just there, and then the pull down basin.